Kia ora, ko Stephanie toka ingoa, haere mai, welcome to Adaptive Go. Today I'm going to introduce you to Chunky, my Tessier Scarver. If you're looking to buy a sit ski or for an upgrade, this vid should give you some ideas around what to look for. It's the last day of summer here today, so it's roastingly hot. I think it's about 30 degrees here in our backyard. So we're sort of out of ski footage, but hopefully you'll enjoy this vid and get a bit out of it. And yeah, really looking forward to the ski season. We got the kids their season rental yesterday and just super excited, and we've got an upcoming vid where we're going to be filming an indoor snow park, so subscribe and watch for that. So this is Chunky, and Chunky got his name when the heli ski guide called him Chunky, and I guess we weighed him and he's about 18 kilos. And I guess if you're lifting that 18 kilos in and out of a helicopter, you'd be wanting to call the sit ski Chunky as well. We've just got the fiberglass fittings on this sit ski. You can get this sit ski down to a much lower weight of about 10 kilos, so Tessier say, if you use their carbon fibre products. So I'm going to run through 5 features that I think are really important when you're looking for a sit ski. But I have to, and then I'll give you a rating of how I think Chunky performs in each of those features. But I have to give you a heads up, I'm completely biased. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is lift loading, and on the lift loading I rated Chunky 7 out of 10. I gave him a 5 out of 5 for safety. The Tessier Scarver is solid as on the chairlift, and all the rope ties and releases for the drag lifts work super well and release really easily. This safety was a massive feature for me when I was purchasing my sit ski, because when I had a rental up the mountain, the sit ski fell between the seat and the safety bar. All I had to hold on to was the safety bar. Me and the sit ski were hanging in the air, and I was just hanging on by my armpits, and you know, Chunky weighs 18 kilos plus my weight. It was really hard to hold on, and we made it to the end. Thankfully I fell out not long before the lift unload. So for me, safety on the chair is really important, and Chunky is solid as. So the second feature that I wanted to talk about under lift loading was getting on and off chairlifts and drag lifts. So to load the chairlift, you have to be obviously clipped in. And you need the seat to be loose, which it is, and just use this to loosen it. And then there's a little lift load button here, which you can, it's super accessible, and you can access it with gloves on. And then the technique to loading is to push up with your outriggers and kick back with your legs, or lean forward with your body weight, so that you're sort of like trying to do the start of a somersault, and it's just like that. And the great thing about the Tessier is that once it's up, it's super well balanced, and so you just sit there and wait for the chairlift to come, and then when the chair comes, you just lean back and you end up sitting on the chair. So it's super easy, but what it requires is a little bit of good weight in your hands and wrists. So if you've got a disease like mine, and you're not as strong in the upper body, it can be a little bit harder. Tessier do make a different sit ski that has a pneumatic arm to help with the pushing up, and that's called their Tempo. But this one doesn't have that, but it is, and the technique to get up, you need to be quite well practiced and really confident, because if you get the balance wrong as you push up and back, what I often find is that the ski will float forward when you're loading. So it's quite, you've got to be very fluid and very quick and really onto it, and quite strong. And so for all those reasons, I now get my husband to help me load, and we'll show you what that looks like. So for all these reasons, I gave Chunky a 3 out of 5 for the lift loading. The other thing is on the drag lifts, the ropes are quite finicky and fiddly, and sometimes they get filled up with snow and then they don't clip properly. Yeah, so 3 out of 5 and all up 7 out of 10 for loading. So the second feature that I wanted to talk to you about was ski feeling. There's about 4 different things in here that I'm going to talk about, and the first of those is the contact, or the feeling that you're staying in contact with the snow. And the Scarver is amazing. It has really good suspension by Öhlins, and it's the same suspension that they use in their high-end superbikes. And it has 2 forms of adjustment, one for the rebound and another one for the compression. And it's got about 120 millimeters of treble. I don't know if you can see that in the vid. The way that you adjust it is, it's not, you've got this tool and you can't really adjust it on the fly, but you can when you've stopped. And the way that you adjust it is by using this tool in each of these. The suspension means that you can be going over hard surfaces or soft surfaces, over moguls, over park, whatever you want to ride, you can adjust the suspension for the conditions and your riding style. In terms of contact with the snow, I rated Chunky 5 out of 5. The other thing that I wanted to talk about here was ski feeling, and again I rated Chunky 5 out of 5. And the thing about the Scarver is it has a very upright seated position, and it means that when you're actually up on the steeps, if you can imagine skiing the steeps, you're quite upright, and it feels, sometimes it feels even like you're in a standing position, and so it's quite a natural, fluid position, and it feels great. So 5 out of 5 for ski feeling. In terms of responsiveness, the Scarver has a higher centre of gravity, which means that you're in a better position to be able to make changes, and so you only really just need to sort of think about moving, and the sit ski will follow. It can turn on a dime, and it's very reactive and responsive. So yeah, in terms of responsiveness, 5 out of 5. So in terms of coping with lots of different types of snow condition, I've rated Chunky a 5 out of 5 as well. And the thing about Chunky is he can convert to a dual ski. So you can put 2 skis on, and I haven't done it yet, but Tessier say that this is a great option for skiing powder. All up, in terms of overall ski feeling, I rated Chunky 20 out of 20. So if it's important to you that your sit ski can adapt for different disabilities or for a deteriorating health condition, then this might be something that you're interested in. I rated Chunky a 9 out of 10 for adaptability to disability. This is the dual ski setup. Excuse the different skis, but all you do is unbolt this mono ski, and then this boot here you replace with these 2 boots, and so you can ski in a dual ski. You do this if your core isn't quite as strong, or you have a higher spinal injury, or like me, as my health condition deteriorates and I'm not as strong in my arms, this will enable me to be able to ski for much longer. So you can also pretty much get the Scarver sort of custom designed, I guess, for your size and shape. So I gave Chunky a 5 out of 5 for this. No, a 4 out of 5. So you can get the seat fitted for how big your bum is or how small your bum is. And so I'm a number 3. And then you can get the footwell measured up for your boot size, and when it comes out of the box, you need to drill the holes to be able to fit this. But because I was short, what we also had to do, which is why I only gave it a 4 out of 5, is we also had to drill these here so that we could lift the footwell up so it wasn't sitting too low for me, and putting you know, if it's too low, you're just gonna, the edge of the seat's just gonna dig into you. So you can adjust the Scarver and sort of pretty much get it customized. Once you've tweaked it and got it set up, then sweet as, it's perfect just for you. So the fourth feature that you need to look out for in a sit ski, if it's important to you, is what the sit ski can ski like. I gave Chunky a 15 out of 15 for versatile skiing. The first thing is you can adjust the seat position to suit your ski style and the type of skiing that you want to do. I have Chunky set up in quite a neutral position. The seat's in a neutral position. It's just how it came factory set, and that's because I ski a lot of flat ski, and so it's the perfect position for that. You can tip it forward more or tip it back depending on what it is that you want to do. So, and then the other area is free ride and park. Because of the more upright position and the responsiveness of Chunky, you can put him in half pipes and on jumps and free ride through the mountain drop-offs, all those sorts of things. He copes with them really, really well. And lastly, racing. I don't race, but I gave him a 5 out of 5 because I'm completely biased. But a lot of international athletes do ride the Scarver and have done quite well. But also I can ski him real fast with the kids, and he's stable as. So 15 out of 15 for versatile skiing. The last area that I wanted to talk to you about, the fifth area, is learn to ski. And in this area I gave Chunky a 1 out of 5. I hated learning to ski on Chunky. I just cannot tell you how dreadful it was. Scarver do advise that it's a hard ski to learn to sit ski on, and it's because of that higher centre of gravity. It's harder to find your balance. It's so responsive, you just have to think about it, so it's so easy to oversteer or overdo something. And you know, I just sort of really spent a good half to 3/4 of a season slamming myself down into the slopes just trying to get the hang of it. So, you know, maybe not so good for a learner. But once you've learnt it, it's amazing and well worth it. So that's it, the 5 things that I think you should look for if you're looking for a new sit ski or getting into sit skiing. I hope this vid's helped you. Please, you know, write a comment below. It'll give me some ideas, and I'm happy to provide some answers, or drop me an email, adaptivego@gmail.com. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.